Hey guys, and welcome along to this video on how to use the metronome on GuitarTuna. So here's the deal. I have GuitarTuna here beside me, and no matter, even whenever you're watching this, the basic elements of the metronome will be the same. So to get into the metronome on GuitarTuna, you open the app, of course, and you're a genius, Dave. You open the app and then go to Tools, go to Metronome. Okay, now depending on your own version, it may be set on a different default, but what we're going to do is click the 4/4 at the bottom, or whatever number you see, and just doubly check sure that it's set to 4/4. So go back in and make sure it says 4/4. Now the next thing you want to do is you can drag the slider as follows, or you can do it like a TV remote, back a bit at a time. I prefer to use the slider to travel large amounts, and then to get precise to use the single digit bit. So I'm going to set it to 60 BPM. Alright, so GuitarTuna, this isn't a lesson on how to use a metronome, but we'll assume that you know some basics about metronomes. The good fun too is, even if you don't, you can still use what I'm about to show you. So we get this, we get 60 BPM, and it's going to make a fantastic sound. Here we go. Okay, so we got that. Now, I'm going to leave it down. And in working on your rhythm, a good thing to do is maybe get a G chord. And I'm going to look at the screen a second and strum along. Like that. Now, most people, when they play with the metronome for the first time, they tend to look at the screen because it, like GuitarTuna, flashes that bright green flash. Now, if you did do that there, or you found yourself looking at the video like that, just make sure that you practice playing with the metronome by listening to it. Because in fairness, we can only do 3 things with our senses here on guitar. So we have 5 senses, of course. We're not going to smell the metronome. We're not going to like taste the metronome. We are going to look at it. We are going to listen to it. And we're going to feel how it is to play along with it. Now the feel comes afterwards. First of all, we've got to practice listening to the metronome and landing on the beat. So let's say if it's set at 60, it's a nice speed. And it can help as well if you tap your foot. So if you just tap along with it. So I'll put it going again. And by the way, do you hear the way that the first beat out of every 4 is higher? Okay, that will let you know when you're on the first beat. So if I go up, then change. Like that. Okay, and the thing with that is then you could practice tapping your foot as the metronome beeps, and keep in mind that if you separate from the metronome, sometimes when I teach this, younger students in particular could look up at the metronome and go, that changed, and I'm like, no, it actually didn't. It's like a robot. It's nearly perfect. So it will like stay on that consistent tempo as long as you've it set there. And if you do separate, the first thing to ask yourself is, did I speed up or did I slow down? It was only one or the other. And keep in mind that once you get into the groove with it, to tap your foot and just sway your hand and allow yourself to get into the flow. As I was saying, like the feel of it. And that's what we did say earlier. We said, you listen to it and you'll get the feel from there. Now, keep in mind, one of the last tips I'll give you here is that as it clicks, you must play on the beat. The big error that can happen is you can wait to hear the click and then play. And you could even get really good at that. Like, I mean, you hear it and you respond, but it's not like on the beat then. You're just a fraction behind it. All right, so what I'll do here is I'll put the metronome playing again, and I'm going to do that. You'll hear that I'm listening and I'm responding to it. I'm not on the beat. So we don't want to do this, but I just want to give you the example so that if you do this at home or wherever you play, that you go, oh geez, I'm doing that thing Dave said, okay? That Dave said not to do. So here we go. 1, 2, swing my hand and you can hear I'm just a fraction behind. Now if that happens, you just stop and hear the first beat, 2, 3, 4, and on. And that's it. Now, when you're comfy on one chord, begin to practice changing chords. And then you can change again. And that's the metronome feature on GuitarTuna. Now, you may have seen like the word tap. That's so that if you hear a song, and let's say, okay, I'm gonna pick Wagon Wheel. Okay, it's a well-known song. So let's say if you want to tap the metronome along with it in order to figure out what speed it goes at, all you'd have to do is put the song playing, which I'm not going to do here because it would set off copyright stuff on YouTube, but I'll sing it. That definitely won't set off the copyright. So I go 1, 2, 3, 4. So rock me mama like a wagon wheel, rock me mama any way you feel. Now, again, that mightn't be the exact speed you get off the recording. But did you notice the way on screen there you saw that the numbers were jumping like 122, 124, 120, 118. A lot of times when students learn to use this feature first, they go, oh, it was going all over the place. And that's true, it will, because like we're not robots. But what you can do is look for the average. Like to me, on average, it was on 120. So then I have the tempo wagon wheel. And I can put it going like that and play along like this. So that's the tap feature on GuitarTuna. And the thing too about that is that's good is that let's say 120 BPM there, that speed is a stretch for you. Just tone it back, set it back to like 90 or something and practice at 90 and then put the speed onto 100 and aim back up for wagon wheel. Like some of my students have like target speeds on the songs they're working on. I think Blinding Lights by the Weekend is 172. So if somebody can't play that at that speed at that moment, they practice it at a comfier speed that's steady, and then they've their eyes set on the next level up, like maybe 150. Next week, maybe 160. And they're all the time, they're heading towards that target of 172. So that was the single digits bit at the top of the screen. The play button is explanatory. The tap function is for you to set the speed, pick the average, and finally here 4/4. I've clicked that, so now I'm in here. This contains a list of all different time signatures. So you can do whatever you wish with this. Like I'm not going to get into detail on time signatures. I'll just say that not every song is in 4/4. Not every song has 4 beats in a bar. A well-known one I'll pick here is Happy Birthday. Happy Birthday has 3 beats per bar. So, okay, I'll do this. And do you hear the way the high click happens 1 every 3? Okay, now, watch this. Happy Birthday. Happy birthday to you. Like that. And you can even make like the first beat out of every group, whether it's 1 in every 4 or 1 in every 3, make it a bit harder so you can feel that you're on that beat. And guys, that is a rough guide and pretty much the complete guide there to how the metronome works on GuitarTuna. If you have any questions on this or some ideas on how to use the metronome, post a comment below and remember to subscribe to keep up to date as well. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.